All right, we're starting episode 1, halftime speech podcast. We're going to be talking about the playoffs so far and making our predictions. We're going to start with the eastern side of the ball with the 1 and 8 seed, Miami versus Atlanta. Um, Game 1 for Atlanta looked really, really bad. Trae Young was really off
Yeah,
that game. He's
it was a
he was
very rough
horrible.
game.
Their game just finished up right now as we're recording, and the Hawks looked a hell of a lot better today.
We know definitely that Trey Young is a good playoff performer considering last year's playoffs and how he schooled the Knicks. Sad to see, considering I'm a Knicks fan. But I don't know how he's been doing this year, to be honest. He's had his moments where he's definitely shown that he can be a great player, a superstar, especially with being so young that he is. But that game against the Hornets in the first half he had, especially against Cleveland too, both games really weren't looking like intriguing to watch. It made me want to turn my TV off until that second half, where he actually helped lead Atlanta to actually. So I don't really know if Hawks can make a far push this playoff unless Trey can really get it under control here.
Yeah, he's shown that he could turn it on, but he's not always hot. But when he's hot, it's hard stopping him. So I think the Hawks will ease their way
Yeah,
back into the series and make it an actual good series, but they've already given up 2 games. So I got Miami in 6, possibly 7, but I think ultimately I got Miami in 6. What do you think?
I got them in five. I could see Trey selling next game, making it a tough game. Miami taking out another dub, probably a blowout, I'm guessing. But then game four and five being real rough,
You
like a
wilding
real
right
close
now,
game.
bro. You are wilding right now, bro.
But
I am a Hawks
no,
fan, bro.
I'm serious. Miami, they're hoopers. They got buckets over there. They got the depth. They've had the experience. They know what they're doing, and they're firing off at all cylinders really well.
I agree that Miami's gonna win because the Hawks just haven't found their rhythm yet in the series. They look better this game, but you really disrespecting the Hawks right now.
I just don't think it's their playoffs. It
Kevin Herter
hasn't
and
been going
Bogdan
too well.
Bogdanovich can also turn it on. Don't forget that. I think the
All right,
Hawks.
Duncan has been shooting lights out. We
So has
cannot forget
so
about
has
that.
Herter, bro. Herter, honestly, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 most underrated players in the league. He can turn it on whenever. He has been very consistent and reliable starter throughout the season. And Bogdanovich, when they moved him to the bench, he's been playing really good. So I think,
Yeah, I really like him as a six man.
yeah, I can see Atlanta being a force to reckon with for the years to come. But I
For
think I
sure.
think the consensus is Miami in 5 or 6. So all right,
Uh,
next.
yeah, oh, 5 or 6. You agree with me now?
All right, next up we got
But moving on.
All right, next we got the 4 seed Philadelphia 76ers versus the 5 seed Toronto Raptors. I think
I'm
I
guessing. I'm definitely guessing Philly sweeps. I want to say Philly
Wow,
sweeps.
sweeps. The Raptors have looked good throughout the regular season, but this isn't the regular season anymore. So
Yeah, the regular season it looked like Raptors were really having the better. I want to say teamwork compared to the Sixers, but I don't know, man. I think
the
Joel Embiid this playoffs and this whole team, he really wants with the health of Harden, how Tyrese Maxey has been hooping. I don't know. This might have to be the year. I got Philly even winning the chip this year. Never Suns.
the in my opinion, or it's not really an opinion, it's honestly a fact. The Raptors do not even have a third of the star power Philly has, and then they got Matisse Thybulle,
No,
who
they do not.
Matisse Thybulle is an all defensive player. He's going to be that his whole career. They have Tyrese Maxey, who's going to be, his second year player. He's already dropped 40 bombs in the playoffs. He's insane. I don't. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit. Yeah. They've got Joel Embiid, MVP candidate, could possibly win it. In my opinion, Jokic is gonna win, but Joel Embiid is
Sadly, I would have loved to see him win it.
yeah, Joel Embiid is easily like as deserving of the award as Jokic is, but I think they'll give it to Jokic. You got Tobias Harris, who
Not to see. Not
Tobias
to see
Harris is kind of getting
I have
washed.
to. Eh,
I mean, I don't want to say he's washed because he's obviously a starter still, but I mean, I remember we used to be calling him, a borderline all star. Now he's a borderline starter. I mean, and he's got a fat, overpaid contract. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tobias Harris getting moved this offseason, but I think it's going to be hard for the Sixers to find him a home, considering his fat contract. The Raptors, they I mean, they're a very good all-around team. They have OG, who's a very good defensive player. They have Fred VanVleet, who has had an amazing season, his first All-Star appearance. Gary Trent is very
got
underrated.
spiked.
Gary Trent can.
I really like the Raptors and the core. They have a great young talent. They have great young talent, especially with Scotty Barnes. They have a great team with the cup. But I don't think I just can't see power in them to actually pull it up this year. Definitely multiple year playoff contenders. But sooner or later, some of those players will definitely leave, or they just can't fit the
They
contracts.
they don't have a center. I mean, they Pascal Siakam's their starting center, and he's very undersized for that position. I mean, he's been holding his own, but
Yeah, right.
he's not big enough to stop Joel Embiid. I mean, he's gonna be guarding Joel Embiid this series, and he does not stand a chance. I mean, he's an All NBA caliber player this year. He's been having an amazing season, especially the second half after the All Star break. But he's not good enough on the defensive side of the ball, and he's not big enough to stop Joel Embiid. So I have got the 76ers in 5.
I got them in 4.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I just say though, before
I can see it being
the next round, this has been one of my favorite playoffs to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in the Western Conference, it's been good, especially with the Golden State and Denver series.
Golden State has been a beaut to watch.
Yes, Jordan Poole.
As far as like Jordan Poole coming up, which I should say should have won Most Improved Player of the Year, for sure.
Yeah, at least in the conversation, but we can talk about that in a minute.
Not even a conversation. This man was playing the G League. Plays role when it comes to the Lord. I'm gonna drop a 40 bomb my name. Your favorite in the league. He has shown he deserves to be the starter of that team.
Yeah, I agree with you. But right now, I think we both have 76ers in 4 or 5 games. All right, next up we have Milwaukee versus Chicago. Chicago has been very cold the last stretch of the season. They were getting risky. They almost missed the playoffs. They were almost in the play-in. They got close. The 6th seed. They went from the 1 seed down to the 6th seed just in the second half of the season. They've been very cold. And Milwaukee has another MVP finalist in Giannis. So this one's an easy one in my opinion. I got the Bucks in 4.
I really wanted to see the Bulls take it this year, and it sucks with them not having Lonzo, and then with the injuries all around this year, it's like the Lakers situation. Injuries really sucked for them.
Yeah,
they had the star power, had the depth. They could have made it along the way this year. They could have done really well, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I wish
it was. I wish it was the case.
I really like the Bulls team. I love Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan's great. I mean,
Caruso, Lonzo, Vucevic.
Yeah.
All great players.
It's not Lonzo's absence has obviously been bad on the team, but it's not like they have a bum to replace him. I mean, they have Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, Alex Caruso could all play the point guard position in place of Lonzo.
Yeah, they have the players that could play it, but it's just he has a good impact on that team, which they need. It's not a major one, but it's definitely like you can tell the without his presence there, it's a little more rough without having him.
Yeah, I mean, their bench is their forwards are a little they don't have a lot of depth at the big position. I mean, they have their backup center's Tony Bradley. Backup power forward is what Marco Simonovic. I mean, I think they're gonna look to move Patrick Williams because I mean they want to win games, and he needs to develop. I think he's gonna be a very good player, but I don't think he fits in their timeline of win now. So,
Yeah,
I
that's what we see a lot in the NBA now. We see the right players on the right teams just at the wrong time.
yeah, I mean I think Patrick Williams is gonna be great in the future, just not on the Bulls. The
Well,
Bucks,
that's definitely something we have to wait on.
yeah, the Bucks are the Bucks. I mean, they're the former champions. They're not here to mess around. They have Giannis, Chris Middleton. I am not a Chris Middleton fan. I think he's very overrated. I think he's very overrated. I don't think he was deserving of All Star this year, especially this year, and maybe another year prior to that.
I don't want to
Um,
get into the All Star talk with people who deserved it.
I mean, he was a wild card. Pascal Siakam didn't make it. That's all I gotta say. Um,
Mm,
but I mean, he is still a valid starter and a very good player in this league. So I'm not a fan of his, but he's still a very good player. Drew Holiday, he's a lockdown. He's amazing. He could score the ball as well. He's a playmaker. Drew Holiday's amazing. Grayson Allen, as much hate him or love him, I mean he's a sharpshooter. He can knock down a 3-point shot. And then Brooke Lopez is a great post player and great shooter for a big man. And then they have just they have a very good built team. So I have got my first sweep, and I've got the Bucks in four.
we
That
Bulls will take a game or two. They're the cuties this year for sure. They definitely seem like they have a solid team that just won't make it all the way. Next year, I think they definitely got some more potential. But I think Bucks in 5 or 6 this year. They'll definitely take it out.
yeah, Bucks are yeah. I agree. Next, in my opinion,
Yeah, yeah.
this next series is going to be the best series in the playoffs, rivaling Golden State and Denver. We have Boston versus the
Oh my god.
Nets. This is a great series.
Amazing game.
I mean, game one, you saw a buzzer beater game winner. I mean, it was a layup, but it was still a buzzer beater game winner from Jason Tatum. So, very close game, very close series. Boston's getting into Kyrie Irving's head. I mean, it's going to be a great series. And this is the first series I have conflict with. I don't know who I'm going to take, to be honest with you. So, I'm leaning towards the Celtics because I mean, hold on, let's talk about Marcus Smart. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. I think. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say it's the he didn't deserve it, but I mean
No, he
the
definitely did.
Celtics the Celtics were horrible at the beginning of the season. Like, don't get me wrong, they sucked, and they they went on like what a 20-2 win loss streak at the end of the season, which is like amazing. And you cannot do that
Yeah.
without defense. And Robert Williams was a great part of that, and also Marcus Smart. I think it's harder to um, guard on the island than it is in the paint. Coming from somebody who actually
Let's keep
plays
discussing this
basketball.
Warriors Nuggets round real quick though.
Yeah,
As we're talking about, we have stars like Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, all fitting their role, playing tremendous basketball. They're really hooping. We have people like Jokic, being the amazing pass
hold up, hold
first,
up, hold up.
shooting, scoring big.
Are you looking at the Golden State series?
Yeah, were we not just talking about that?
No, we're talking about the Boston series,
Ooh, my
bro.
bad, mate.
No, yeah, we're talking about
Can
Marcus
we talk about
Smart.
this Warriors series, though? Can we talk about this Warriors series?
Well, we're gonna get around to it. We're gonna get around to it. Hold your horses.
All right, my bad.
Yeah, but Boston has Defensive Player of the Year. They have another Defensive Player of the Year candidate. If he didn't get injured, he probably would have been in the top 3 too. And Robert Williams, Jason Tatum, an All NBA player, an All Star, future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think it's that bold of a take to say that. They have Jaylen Brown, a All Star candidate every single season, and then point guard. I mean, I think Marcus Smart's actually point guard starting this year, and then Al Horford, who he was surprisingly he was kind of high up on the list and Defensive Player of the Year candidate. To my surprise, if you actually looked at all the votes,
I
it's
haven't looked at the
surprising,
votes.
but I guess that just means he is old, but I mean he's still a pretty good player. And then they have very solid bench. So I think and then the Nets. I mean Kevin Durant, 2 times Finals
Yeah,
MVP, 2 time
that
champ.
Nets team is just absurd. It's just
Kyrie
absurd. I
Irving.
like.
I mean, Kyrie Irving's dropping 40 points on an empty stomach. This dude's crazy. Um, Seth Curry, one of the best shooters in the league. You Kessler Edwards,
Only
a
reason
rookie, has impressed. Cam Thomas, a rookie, has impressed. They had a very good rookie class this year, and they don't get a lot of minutes. So I think Brooklyn, I mean, even though their stars are old, they still have a pretty good future. Um,
I like I like Celtics, and I'm not a big fan of the Nets. Only reason
yeah,
I've been saying the past few seasons, I just look at them as a team, as the snakes, a bunch of team of snakes who didn't want to just be like a role player. Besides KD, KD's the only person I did not understand why he would leave the Warriors. Kyrie, that was such a weird move on leaving. I don't understand why he possibly would. And then they just kept building out people who just couldn't get success in their teams, like James Harden, Blake Griffin.
yeah,
Sucks what happened with LaMarcus Aldridge, but he came back.
yeah. He
I'm
came
glad to
back.
see him playing.
He's a rotational player. Andre Drummond is on the team now. I
Yeah, man, I want to
he's a very hated player, but I have always been a fan of Andre Drummond since he was on the Pistons. I mean, probably the best rebounder in the league today. I mean, Rudy Gobert's in that conversation, and Clint Capella too. But I think it goes to Andre Drummond. Um,
for sure.
he's a very good player. Well, maybe not on the offensive side of the ball, but I mean, you still got to watch out for him. I mean, he's still a good player. Maybe not the all-star
I got
player
to
he was on the Pistons, but he's still a good player and a very, very, very good rebounder. And then they have depth. They have really good depth. I mean, Patty Mills can knock down a shot anytime he's open. I don't ever expect him to miss when he's open. Same with Seth Curry. So, I mean, this is the best series in my opinion.
I do really like the Celtics, and I would like them to win the series, but I can't see it happening. Only reason I'm also leaning towards the Nets is I want to see Ben Simmons play. I need to see what he's
He's
been
supposed to
doing
come back.
while he's had.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is supposed to come back in the next, 2 or 3 games. So
I don't think he'll come back to this series. I feel like there's just gonna be a report randomly saying
yeah,
that there's been a random delay. Probably
that's
some
kind of
back
how it's
strain.
been. That's kind of how it's been with Ben Simmons this whole season. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
If they do win, I could see them coming back next season. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see how Ben Simmons is playing,
Yes,
but it's gonna suck not seeing him at the point guard position as a starter because I just know that won't happen.
yeah. I think Nets will be a force to reckon with for years to come. Despite
For sure.
their Kevin Durant being like 33 now, Kyrie being almost 30. So I think
They definitely got. I want to say 3, 4 more years left in them, unless one of them demand a trade.
I mean,
I'm surprised.
Cam Thomas, you see that dude when he got his opportunity, he was amazing. Cameron Thomas,
Yes.
I think he's gonna be an all-star at some point in his career, multiple-time all-star potentially.
I'm
Kessler
actually really
Edwards has
surprised.
been very under the radar. Kessler Edwards got signed to a multi-year contract extension for the Nets because he was on a two-way. He was on a two-way contract. Kessler Edwards was, and he's proved himself. And then Day'Ron Sharpe, I don't think he showed too much, but I believed in him in the before the draft. But I don't. I think injuries is why they're the 7th seed. If they didn't have injuries, they would be a way higher seed. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, this is very close. I got Nets in 7.
I don't think in 7. I think Nets will take it in 5 or 6. I feel like it will be. I feel like the first game was more of a fluke. They just weren't playing their best basketball, and Celtics were. They were definitely giving it their all. They were playing great ball. But after that one, I just don't think Kyrie or KD or anyone on that Nets team will want to take another loss. And I can only see them going up from here.
Yeah, this is like I said, the best series in my opinion. So I still got Nets, in a very close series. I love this Boston team, especially their defense. But I think Robert Williams is ultimately their downfall, not having him. So I got Nets in a very close series.
I want to give the Celtics I want to say 2 more years till they have like a championship caliber team.
All right.
That could destroy super teams like the Nets.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Celtics are going to be very good. As soon as next year, probably. All right.
That Kyrie trade was probably the best option for them. Really showed how Jason Tatum could be.
All right. We finish up the Eastern first round. Let's move on to the West. Phoenix versus New Orleans. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time. New Orleans was lucky. They were lucky to make it in the playoffs. I mean, the C.J. McCollum trade turned out to be amazing for them because
yes.
C.J. McCollum has been so good for the Pelicans, but I don't think it's enough to win them a game.
He's a great playoff performer, and Brandon Ingram has definitely shown he is too. I love the team, and I love what they can do. I see much potential in them, but I feel like they definitely need a player like Zion.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Zion for an actual second.
Zion,
what is your opinion on him?
What's my opinion? I think.
Do you think he's a fluke, a bust, or?
I'm not. No, he's not a bust. Greg Oden's not a bust in my opinion because he was injured. If you don't get in, Greg Oden's situation is so unfortunate, but Greg Oden's not a bust, so Zion, why would he be a bust for having injuries? When he played, he played one season, and he was an all-star that one season that he actually played.
Oh my God, he was playing amazing basketball.
His first game of the season, his first game of his career. Nobody ever thought he was a shooter. His first game of his career, he came in and hit 4 for 4 threes.
Yeah, I know. It's honestly absurd how well this man was playing in his first NBA game.
I think everybody has Ja Morant over him right now, but I think if Zion...
I hate to see it. I never thought Ja Morant was a better player than Zion.
Yeah.
I always felt Zion, I feel like has a bigger potential window. Ja could probably lead a team as a point guard better. Obviously, he's shown that he can. But in the words of, I want to say, better in the NBA at scoring, having the potential to just do it all, is definitely Zion. This man is a freak athlete,
100%.
Freak of nature on its own.
Yeah, when Zion comes back, they have Brandon Ingram, another very good young player. They have they need to get the point guard. C.J. McCollum, he's getting older, but he's still very good. Jonas Valanciunas, who's very underrated center, he's very good. Herbert Jones, I think is going to be he's going to be a defensive player of the year candidate later on in his career. That's how good I think he is. Jose Alvarado came out of nowhere.
Oh my God, I love Jose. He's
their starting point guard.
Player.
I think
Jose is honestly great.
They need to
amazing at defense.
Yeah, they need to make a move for. I don't know what point guards are going to be on the move this offseason, but they need to make a move on one of them. Potentially using their first round pick. They're going to have probably the 15th.
They need more scoring options. I don't know about defense. I feel like they got a great two-way out of Brandon Ingram, and if Zion comes back, they got another two-way out of that.
Yeah.
Because
Point guard
I know it's
situation. I mean, I love Jose Alvarado. I don't think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a great bench player for his career, but I don't think he's gonna be, a championship quality starting point guard. So I think they need to get that situation handled, and then the future's
sucks,
super
man.
bright for the Pelicans. But the Phoenix Suns, I mean, we've barely talked about them because there's not much to talk about. They had the
No,
best record in the league
great
by a
team,
lot. Devin Booker's
great team.
amazing. Chris Paul's amazing. Mikal Bridges was like runner up in Defensive Player of the Year. They have Jay Crowder, who's a very good. He can knock down a shot. I mean, don't get me wrong. Cam Johnson, Sixth Man of the Year candidate. He was top 3. He's amazing. He can, you know. I remember on draft day when after Kobe White got drafted, they were asking him some questions, and when Cam Johnson got drafted, who was his teammate at North Carolina, he was so surprised to see him go 12, and I think ultimately Cam Johnson turned out better than Kobe White as of right now. But I got the Suns in 4 pretty easily. I don't think New Orleans.
Sadly, I have to agree with that. Pelicans have a great future. Just this will not be their year.
Yeah. Dallas versus Utah. I think the series is 1-1 right now.
I like this. Yeah, it is.
I think
I
it's going to
feel
be a
like Luka
solid
can sit out
series.
next game. Brunson has definitely shown he's a hooper. He could fill that role while Luka's missing.
Dinwiddie just
Not
dropped.
not keep it full.
Dinwiddie just dropped a 40 bomb. With Luca missing.
Yeah, I
The
know.
Dinwiddie move was a great
Love it.
move for
I
them.
love it.
Yeah. Um, it's gonna be close. Well, actually, I don't think it's gonna be that close. Utah. I mean, Utah lost to the Mavericks without Luca. I mean, Mavericks without Luca, their best player is probably Jalen Brunson. I think he's a very good player, but I don't think he's good enough to win you a playoff series. I think that just shows how off the Utah Jazz are. Donovan Mitchell can get very selfish at times, especially when they're down late in the game. Rudy Gobert, I mean, I think he's on the move this offseason.
Sadly, I have
Mike,
to agree.
yeah, Mike Conley is washed at this point. I mean, he couldn't stop. He gave up a 40 bomb to Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, I don't see the Jazz going much further. I got Dallas, or I think Luca's coming back at as soon as the next game. So
I feel like he sit out that next game. All honesty.
I think when Luca comes back, Utah Jazz isn't winning a game. So if he's coming back
Yeah,
next game,
I definitely think they should take another game off.
yeah,
Make sure his injury's all good. Don't risk another one.
yeah, I
He'll be
agree.
a step
So
right there.
I think Jazz will take the next game because I think they're gonna rest Luca another game, and then Luca's coming back, and Dallas is winning in 6, in my opinion. What do you think?
I can see that. Yes,
Yeah.
I love Dallas. They have a great team. Luka can finally move on in the playoffs. This has definitely been the year he's wanted it bad.
Yep. All right. Here's your time, Golden State, Denver. I'll let you take the
Ah,
floor on this one because I know you got a lot to say.
yes. I love the Warriors this year. I have never been a big Warriors fan, only because I'm a huge LeBron fan. But this year, they've excited me. They've really been making me happy with this year. I have nothing else to say, but all around, they're a phenomenal team. I can't see anything going wrong besides their big situation with James Wiseman being out. But still, even
Draymond
without
Green's
him,
fully capable of playing center
yeah,
position.
that's what I'm saying. Even without them, they have the defensive capability. They don't even get me started on the offensive capability. Seeing Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, all playing like the superstars they were meant to be. I'm
Dude, they've been
really
a
happy.
dynasty for so long, and they're gonna be a dynasty still. Steph Curry is aging like fine wine. I mean, and
Yeah,
with his
yeah, like
game,
fine.
like fine wine. Yeah, with his game, I mean, he's gonna play till he's 38, 39, 40, somewhere around there. I mean, he's gonna be a very good player for more years, which is surprising because he's 34 already, which is crazy. And then Jordan Poole has been amazing. Klay Thompson's could potentially get moved this offseason, but I don't know. I wouldn't be
That's what I
surprised.
wanted to get into.
Yeah,
I
I
wanted to
wouldn't
get
be
into
surprised if
the
he stays,
Thompson
but I wouldn't
trade.
be surprised if he goes.
What do you think about this Klay Thompson trade?
I don't know.
Do you think it should happen or it shouldn't? I personally think it definitely should. With the way that Jordan Poole's been playing, he can fill that role. Not
Yeah.
quite as much on the defensive side, but he can put up 40 a night, and he can't keep doing that unless you may give him that starting job. And with Clay there and Curry, it can't possibly happen
I mean, Clay's
unless you
six
want to move
seven.
him to the small forward.
He's 6'7".
But
He's 6'7". I mean, he's big enough to play small forward, and he's a
I don't know if
lockdown.
he should be playing small forward though. I know he's better off as a
Yeah,
guard
I mean,
spot.
he's for sure better off with guards. Guard, he's for sure better off as a guard, but I think he is still going to be a good forward. Um, but
You can definitely see a good score for the Warriors with
yeah,
with their score, with how their offensive small ball is. I could definitely see them putting him at a small forward. I just don't know how he'll personally like being at a small forward.
yeah. I think he wants to retire in Golden State, but I don't know how likely that is. I don't think.
This could be like
I
an
don't
intro
think.
situation.
Yeah, I don't think the Warriors should be eager to let him go or eager to get rid of him.
They
For
should not get rid of him. Unless, I mean, he has a pretty big trade package. I'd say if they would to trade him, I wouldn't do it this year. I'd give it another few. Give it another few. After like his next contract, make it a decent one. Trade him away
sign
then,
and
or get
trade.
rid of Clay. They can get a big paycheck trade package with Wiseman and Clay
Yeah,
Thompson,
Jordan
filling up
Poole.
that big role.
Yeah, Jordan Poole could have a lot of trade value, but I don't think they should get rid of him. I think the dynasty has been going on for so long, and then now they have all these amazing young players like Kuminga and Jordan Poole and Moses Moody and James Wiseman. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
a
my.
almost a whole new starting five of very good young players, and then you still have a few years left of the Steph, Clay, Draymond, and then you have Wiggins. Wiggins keeps flying under the radar for me,
Yes.
but I mean, he can be a veteran for this up and coming team with those four players I just named. So I think the Warriors are still going to
I
be good for
completely
years.
forgot about Wiggins.
Yeah,
He's another player I really enjoy watching.
I think. I mean, you're going to have Steph, Jordan, Poole, Wiggins, Kuminga, and James Wiseman for a few years, unless one of them gets moved. And then Moses Moody as your six man. I mean, that's still going to be a very, very good playoff team.
What do you think on a potential Anthony Davis trade for them?
I think Anthony Davis should get moved. I think the Lakers just need to blow everything up, except for LeBron. I think
Well, he has a year left, and you know wherever Bronny goes, he's going. So
yeah.
the Lakers guarantee will not be getting him
When's
back anytime
Bronny
soon.
projected to come in the league? Is it
Second,
2024?
2020, 2023 should be.
It's not in this year.
No,
No,
they're,
it's I
they're
think it's
24.
2024. It's not this year. It's not the year after, but I think it's the year after that.
He's a junior, isn't he? He graduates next year.
Yeah. So he's a junior in high school. He
He'll be able to
graduates
play.
next
He
year.
graduates 2023. He should be able to play then.
You have to play a year in college, unless he goes to the G
Oh yeah.
League. I think he could go to the G League
No,
potentially.
he'll play college ball. He'll definitely play college
I mean,
ball.
his dad did it.
That's the,
I don't know.
that's the, that's
Yeah,
his only way of actually having a good trade package.
yeah. Where Bronny
I
goes,
mean, value.
LeBron's going. It's simple as that. LeBron said it himself. That's just that
With
easy.
with Lakers getting rid of all the young talent besides, like, let's say Malik Monk and Austin Reeves, I don't know
I
if they
love
should
Austin
really.
Reeves.
Austin Reeves is a great man, especially that nickname, AR-15. Love
Yeah,
it.
that's crazy.
But they should definitely look into getting a trade with Anthony Davis and LeBron, getting rid of those two,
Yeah.
since they need to build up a younger core for their future years.
All right.
And
Let's
with
talk
getting
about
James,
let's talk about Denver for a sec.
oh yeah,
They have Jokic. I think I my early right now my way too early championship prediction for next year's actually the Nuggets. Opinions here are gonna change obviously, but you're gonna have Michael Porter Jr. coming back, Jamal Murray coming back. Those are two very very good young players, along with the MVP, the reigning MVP, and probably this year's MVP too, and Jokic. And then you have Aaron Gordon who fits very well next to him, and Will Barton,
yes,
very good
yes.
defensive player. You have Bones Highland. They hit on Bones Highland at the draft. He's going to be very good for a while. They have Monte Morris, who's a very good six-man point guard. Zeke Naji, who's very under the radar, who was a rookie, I think, last year. He's a very good stretch four. So I think they're going to be a very good team next year. But this year they're dealing with a lot of injuries in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., who I think MPJ, if they make it past this round, could come back, but I don't know about that. But I don't think they're going to make it past the Warriors. I got the Warriors in 5, unfortunately. Or
I
fortunately,
definitely
however you want to look
see.
at it.
I could see Denver winning a chip in a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing Jamal
For
Murray
sure.
come back will definitely be great. As you said, Aaron Gordon fits super well. I love the fact that he was able to escape the Magic. I wish he was able to do it sooner though, but now he does fit right well now,
Yep.
which is great to see.
Michael Porter Jr. is obviously he's like
Yes, Michael
6'10".
Porter
He's a
Jr.
six
is
ten
good.
wing. He can do everything. So I mean, if MPJ never had that really bad back injury in college, he could have been the number one overall pick, very likely. Um, but I got Warriors in 5.
Um, yeah, I'd have to say Warriors in 5. If they keep playing the way they're playing, this is only uphill.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Memphis versus Minnesota. They're actually playing right now, and the Grizzlies are up 99-81 as I'm recording, so it looks like they're gonna win. So
I really wanted bad. I wanted the Timberwolves to get it this year. I
yeah,
love Karl Anthony Towns. Amazing season for the man.
Patrick
And
Beverly. I mean, he's
I
been
love
great.
D'Lo as a point guard. Huh?
Patrick Beverly's been great.
Yes, yes. That's
He's been a
what I love.
menace. I think the Timberwolves are
Menace,
another
as
team
you
that's going to be very good for a few years. Anthony
yeah.
Edwards is proving the number one pick value over LaMelo Ball. And Cat, the greatest shooting big man of all time. You can at me, I don't care.
No,
Jared,
I agree
yeah,
100%. I love Cat.
Jared Vanderbilt has been very under the radar. He's been very good. Think maybe drafting another forward, like small forward or power forward in this year's draft is going to put you over the edge. Patrick Beverly, they extended him for another year. D'Lo D'Lo has found his role in the league. Not as an all-star, but as a very very solid
He's a
player.
key role-playing point guard, which I've always loved D'Lo, especially on the
I think
Lakers.
he's above that. I think he's above role play, but I think he's.
I'm not saying he's like a key role play for them. Fits perfectly.
I mean his.
He's above average
Yeah,
point
yeah,
guard.
yeah, yeah.
He gets the job done, and then now he has Anthony Edwards, amazing player.
His playmaking ability is very under the radar for D'Lo. People don't realize how good of a playmaker he is. Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant is John Morant. He's crazy good. Desmond Bain was a diamond in the rough last year. Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr. is a very good defensive player. I think he led the league in blocks this year. And then Steven Adams is Steven Adams has always been reliable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love this Minnesota team. I don't think they're gonna beat the Grizzlies, although they did take game 1 and Grizzlies took game 2, so it's 1-1 right now. So I think it's gonna be a lot closer
I
than
think this
people
is gonna be
think.
my first.
I think it's closer than
I
people
think it's
think
gonna
for
be my
sure.
game 7.
It I would not be surprised if it goes to game 7. But I think the Minnesota Timberwolves rebuild is finally getting on the right track. I think they need to make a big time splash trade, potentially for Damian Lillard. I don't know how realistic that is, but
It's not realistic, but it could happen.
I mean,
It would
Damian.
work out perfect.
I think it looks like the Trailblazers want to build around Dame, but I don't
They're
think
just
it's
not doing it
they're
though. The
not
fact
doing
that
it
they got rid of
good.
CJ McCollum, the
I
CJ
think
McCollum trade,
yeah,
I know dang well really hurt Lillard.
I think Lillard should get dealt. I don't know if he will this offseason, but I think he should. Um, yeah, I and the Timberwolves are a team that I think he would fit well with alongside D'Lo. So
Yeah, oh, I can just see it. I can see it. I'd probably put starting point guard Dame.
yeah, Dame for sure starting point guard, but
Yeah,
you
shooting
know,
guard D'Lo,
D'Lo has
small forward.
experience. D'Lo has experience playing with another dominant point guard in Steph Curry. Everybody forgets that, but he did play in Golden State for a while
I
before
do
getting
that
traded.
Warriors team I liked. I'm
Yep.
excited to see that trade.
I love D'Lo on the Nets. That was the most fun basketball.
Yes,
That D'Lo
yes.
Nets team was so fun to watch. Man, that was so fun. You know, the bench getting
Steph
hyped
Curry,
over everything. The bench would get so hyped, and then D'Lo would make like he would put the team on his back when they were down by like 15 and make a comeback in the fourth quarter. That team was so fun to watch. D'Lo's very good, but I think I got Memphis in 6 or 7. I could see it going either way, but I got Memphis overall.
I do want to give it to I want to give it to the Timberwolves in 7. I'm not gonna lie. I think it could go to Game
Timberwolves.
7. Anthony Towns just starts hooping
Is this our
his
first
best
disagreement?
basketball. Uh, I think so. Yeah,
Do you
I think
want to?
so.
I think Memphis is gonna win. I think they
I
can.
can see it happening. I'm
I
not
think
gonna
that
be completely.
I think T
Huh?
Wolves have the ability. I think the T Wolves have the ability to win, but I don't think they will. I think it's Memphis.
My exact reasoning too. I think this is a very close game. I feel like after today's loss, Karl Anthony Towns will definitely just start playing his better basketball. The rest of the team will lock in, 100% focused, and they'll just take it under the. It's going to go to Game 7. I can promise this will go to Game 7.
Okay.
But I feel like Timberwolves will just take right under them. I feel like the last game will most. I feel like it'll actually be a blowout.
Really,
Game 7.
I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies have a very stacked team.
They do.
They have two
Yeah.
very good backup guards in D'Anthony Melton and Tyus Jones. They're very good basketball players. And then they have John Morant, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams as their starting lineup. That's very good. Like very good.
It's a killer line, that's for sure. They have a lot of power in that,
I mean,
and
Minnesota has weaknesses, and I can't say that
of
about the
course, John
Grizzlies.
Morant's
So
weakness is not being able to be a good shot creator. He's more of he's an aggressive point guard like prime D Rose. I want to give it like, is give me those type of vibes.
yeah, I mean, John Morant led the point or led the league in points in the paint amongst guards. So I mean, he's definitely not like a shot creator. He's more of a slasher.
He's a dominant scorer when it comes to a guard.
Yeah,
He's like Curry. It's like Curry on the 3, except this one's in the paint.
yeah. He's a very good paint player, but you can't say a whole lot beyond the arc. I mean, he's not a bad shooter by any means. He's a good shooter. Good. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's great. I'm not gonna say he's bad. I think he's a good shooter, and he's not an amazing shot creator. So I could see this going either way, but I'll give it to you this time. I'll give you Minnesota in 7 for this series, but I could go either way in my opinion. So Minnesota in 7.
Moving on to the next one.
Yeah. We'll go back to the East. We finished the first round for both conferences. Let's go Miami Heat versus the Philadelphia 76ers. I think it's going to be a good series. To be honest, in my opinion, the Heat are very overrated. I don't know what makes me think that. I'm just not a fan of their team this year.
I don't know about overrated.
I don't know about
I
overrated. You know what?
Yes,
I'm using the bad play of words. I am not a fan of their lineup this year.
there you go.
I'm not a fan. That doesn't mean they're overrated. They earned the 1 seed for a reason. But
I feel like they're like
Philadelphia.
the Bulls.
I mean,
Like how the Bulls are.
like I said with Toronto, Philadelphia's star power is just crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Miami has Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's had a very, very cold second half of the season. But he just had an amazing game. I think he dropped close to 50 against the Hawks just a few hours ago. So I could see this. I think it's gonna be a close series. Sixers got all around talent. They have Maxey and then Harden, both very good guards and playmakers, and then they have Matisse Thybulle, who's a very good defender, and then Joel Embiid, who's potential MVP this year. And then Miami has Tyler Hero, who's the best scorer on their team coming off the bench. So
Yes, yes. Tyler Hero definitely should have been a six man of the year.
he will be. He will be for sure. I think that's the one. This award race has been crazy this year, but I think the six
I'm
man of
very
the.
upset with it.
I think I agree. I think the most improved player award could have gone to any of five people, but the six man of the year award was Tyler Hero, and nobody else was close. I'm saying it right now. Cam Johnson was second. He was not close.
No,
So I'm going Philly in 6 or 7.
I completely. I don't think he'll go to Game 7.
I got
Philly's
6.
too good, too great. He is an amazing team, and I love him. They're a great team. I don't think they're overrated, but I feel like they're like the Bulls. They're the cuties of the playoffs.
Yep. All right, I think the consensus is Philly in 6.
Yes.
All right, next we got Milwaukee and Nets. Brooklyn Nets and Milwaukee Bucks. This is gonna be very good. This is a rematch of last year.
Yes.
Second
This would
round
be a
matchup
very
last
great
year.
match, and I can't wait to
This
see
went
it.
to 7. I'm gonna say it's gonna go to 7 again this year.
You're gonna go with Nets in 7?
I'd never said that. I said the series is gonna go to 7. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind
my
yet.
bad.
I mean, the Bucks have won a championships with this pretty much exactly the same roster, so they've shown that they can do it. So I'm not gonna doubt the Bucks at all, like I have in the past before they won. And then the
I
Nets.
want to see how
Kevin
Ben
Durant
Simmons
is-
plays in
yeah.
the next round.
I
I
think-
want to see that.
I think by this time in the playoffs he'll be back. So, I mean, Ben
if
Simmons.
Ben Simmons is playing well, then
I
I
mean-
want to give it to the Nets in 7. If he's not back and they're still having a little bit of struggle,
We saw how bad he was
I'm-
last time he played in the second round of the playoffs. I mean, I'm a Hawks fan. I watched that whole series. He was horrible. He sucked.
it was horrible. I hated how Ben Simmons was playing. He wasn't playing real basketball. He was being weird, and then he complained about the hate he was getting. If you're a superstar on an NBA team,
He's not a superstar.
you have to understand you're gonna get hate, and if he just cried about it and
Yeah.
then moved on to a team,
He's a drama queen. I'm saying it right now.
and now he has injuries apparently on a new team. It's insane to me,
He's
and
the
I
new
hated
Anthony
it.
Davis.
Wow. Okay, as a Lakers fan, that sucked to hear, but
I
you're not wrong.
thought you were a Knicks fan.
I'm a bigger Knicks fan,
Okay.
but I still like my Lakers. I still love my LeBron. It's just, but Anthony Davis, he's a good superstar, and I love to see him play. I feel like Warriors should make a trade for him,
Yeah.
but
It's
he's
possible.
injured a lot, which not to see. And it's the same with Ben Simmons now. There's apparently this man's getting injured, and it's the weirdest injuries out of the blue. He didn't have this before, and we know dang well he wasn't playing basketball in the meantime when he had the time.
Let's get back
But
to
about
the
the series, I might have to just give it to the Bucks if Ben Simmons isn't playing well. Have to give it to the Bucks.
I think Kevin Durant's leaving with a bad taste in his mouth after last year, and is gonna single-handedly.
You also got to think about it. Giannis has gotten better. He's
Yeah.
gotten a lot better.
But
He's
I
developed
think
a
the
way
Nets,
better shot, too.
the Nets, in my opinion, have gotten better. They have Kyrie back. He was injured the last time they had this series. They now have Ben Simmons. Also, keep in mind, James Harden was hurt last time they played, so it was pretty much Kevin Durant, and they lost by a bucket. The entire series
Yeah,
by a
which
bucket.
very much
And
so.
now the Nets are better, and in my opinion, the Bucks have stayed the same, maybe slightly increased, but I think the Brooklyn
It's
Nets.
definitely increased. I feel like the
Um,
only difference here now is that the Bucks are coming off of a championship caliber season. They know what's at stake. Giannis has developed a 3-point shot where it's consistent enough to be good. I love the way he's been hooping. He's a different man, a different breed. He's not even still in his prime yet.
Yeah,
That hasn't hit.
I think he's two-time MVP, one-time Defensive Player of the Year, multiple time All NBA. I think this is his prime, but I think it's going to be his prime for a while. I
Yes, this is gonna be
mean,
lasting a long
maybe
time.
maybe it's not his prime. Maybe he's going to develop a jump shot. Maybe he's going to be the greatest player of all
That's what
time.
I'm
We never
saying.
know.
He's
I mean,
developing a
he's only
jumper
what
really fast.
26, 27. He's still a young player. Um,
Yo,
kind
two
of.
more years, he have a way consistent jump shot.
Yeah.
He's still dominant as he is right now, and I can only see it go up from right here. I want to see more of this, and I think Bucks will take it in 7. I
I
just don't
think
think
Nets
they
will take
have
it
it
in
in the.
7. We're disagreeing again, but I think Nets will take it in 7.
We'll see. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, like I said, the Nets have gotten it. I think the Nets have roster has increased a lot more than the Bucks have, so that's kind of my reasoning. Kyrie's healthy. Ben Simmons should be healthy for this series. I'm not gonna let the 7 seed deceive me. They were injured a lot at the last part of the season, and when
No,
they,
no, no, no. Regular, as long as
yeah,
you make it to playoffs, I do not care what your
yeah,
regular season was like.
when they,
Everyone plays different.
yeah, for sure. But when they were healthy, they were dominant, and they were one of the top teams in the league. So, in my opinion, I got Nets
I,
in 7.
I won't complain about it because I know it could definitely happen. They're a way better team, almost double the star power than they were last year, and it was a close series as it is.
Yep.
I just feel like now the Bucks will play better. Giannis has gotten better. They have determination. They have the heart. I feel like that's what could pull them through it.
Keep in mind, I said this already, but James Harden and Kyrie Irving were on the roster last season, but they were hurt. So Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving should both be playing this series, along with Kevin Durant.
That's what I'm saying. It could go. I would lean towards the Nets if Ben Simmons is playing well. If he's not, then I don't know. They could just have another Philly situation with what happened with Ben. That was not okay.
I agree with you. This could go either way. I got it going to 7. No matter who wins, but I got Nets in 7. Are you gonna go with this, or are you gonna argue for the Bucks?
I'll go with Nets in 7.
All right.
I can agree with you. I won't complain too much about it.
All right, we got our conference finals. Let's go to the West. Let's Phoenix versus Dallas. I don't have a lot to say. I think Phoenix is gonna win.
I feel like Phoenix will pull it out. Probably Game 6.
It's gonna be closer than
Luka
New
will be
Orleans.
hooping.
It's not gonna be a sweep like New
Definitely
Orleans
not.
was.
If Luka is, no.
Luka's different. Luka's good. I used to think he
Yeah,
was
I'm
very
just glad
overrated,
that
but
the Luka he got didn't last so long.
Luka's he's him. Luka is him.
He's him. He's Luka Magic.
Yeah. But so is Devin Booker. Devin Booker has a legit case for the best shooting guard in the league. Chris Paul, I think the Suns have a way better roster. Luka Doncic is better than both Devin Booker and Chris Paul. That's a fact. But I think the Phoenix Suns have a better roster than Dallas does.
Yeah, I agree. I know Phoenix Suns will pull it out. It's not a debate. It's an easy game. Not an easy game,
I got
but it's definitely a
Suns in
W.
6, 5 potentially, but I'm gonna say Suns in 6.
All right, let's move on to the next round because we know who's winning that one.
All right. Warriors, Minnesota. Minnesota barely edged it out. I had Memphis, but you persuade me to put Minnesota in 7. But Golden State is killing it. Jordan Poole's killing it. Steph Curry's killing it. And
Let's be honest. Either way, if Minnesota or Timberwolves were to win this game, I would say Warriors are winning that.
yeah, no matter what, Memphis or Minnesota, whoever wins is getting knocked out by the Warriors. And I'm
Yes.
saying getting knocked out by the Warriors because Denver's going to get knocked out by the Warriors first, and that's it. It's going to happen.
It's going to.
I got the Warriors in
are definitely
5.
going-
Warriors in 5.
Where's the 5?
Warriors in 5.
If the first Timberwolves, probably 5 or 6. I'd have to say
I
that.
think 5. I think Warriors in 5. That's my opinion.
I can agree. I can get behind that.
All right.
Warriors are definitely too good of a team to make it a too close of a match.
All right. Eastern Conference. Let's see who goes to the finals. We got the 76ers and the Nets. That's gonna be close again. James Harden versus Kevin Durant. Ben Simmons versus Joel Embiid. It's gonna be a fun series, for
That's gonna be
sure.
great.
It's gonna be a dramatic filled series. Good, star power on both sides of the ball. Defense. Both teams have defense. Both teams have shooting. Both teams have star power. It's gonna be great. But Joel Embiid, I don't think the Nets have somebody that can hold him.
God no, heavens no.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Put LaMarcus Aldridge on him?
Andre
God no.
Drummond probably. Ben
That's
Simmons
not gonna work
maybe
out too well.
potentially Ben Simmons, but I think Ben Simmons. I think
I
Ben
only see
Simmons
how
is their best
Cleveland.
bet at guarding Joel Embiid, and I don't think he can. So,
God no. Embiid's gonna
this
be too
isn't an
dominant
easy
that game.
choice.
And Harden playing, I think it's gonna be a Harden Kyrie matchup. I have to give that to Harden scoring all day.
Yep, Harden's a beast, and then Tyrese Maxey. I mean, we have not talked about him enough right now. Tyrese Maxey has been killing it. I think he just dropped 40 or something a few days ago. And so I got
Oh, man,
70. I got
it's gonna be
76ers.
the-
I got 76ers.
Yeah, I got Sixers for sure. I got Sixers winning the chip this year.
I don't.
I got Sixers or
I got
Suns.
them.
I'd have to
I have six. I got Sixers right now against the Nets. I got Sixers in six. Six.
I got them in 5.
I got them in six. I think
I
Kevin, I think
understand.
Kevin Durant and Kyrie are good enough to win at least 2 games against this team.
Definitely, I feel like KD. No one on the Sixers can guard him too well. But with Kyrie, it's Kyrie. You can barely guard that man. Ever.
Matisse
You
Thybulle.
just have to pray.
Matisse Thybulle. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Matisse Thybulle can definitely lock him up a bit. But come on, it's Kyrie.
Yeah.
Stopping him is going to be extremely tiring for him. And throughout that whole game, it doesn't matter how tight the defense is. He's getting the shot off, and it's going in. Joel Embiid, though, no one's stopping him. God, no. No one on that Nets team can stop him. And then same goes for James Harden.
Yep. All right. Let's go Phoenix versus Golden State. This is gonna be a very good series.
That's going to be a hell of a game.
Seven games. I'm saying it right now. 7 games.
I want to give it to Warriors, but I have to give it to Suns. Suns just got their eye on the prize this year.
I believe Suns. I believe Suns are gonna edge out the Warriors barely, in 7 games. But like we said, Warriors have a bright future. Once Chris Paul is gone, I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, when Chris Paul wasn't there, the Phoenix Suns weren't good at all. But I think I think Chris Paul's presence from being there is gonna, his presence is just matured everybody else on the Suns team. Is gonna make them better basketball players even when he's gone. They're when he's gone, they're gonna find somebody to replace him. I think they're gonna still have him next season, but he's like 36 now, so he doesn't have a lot of time left. I think Golden State's future is brighter than Phoenix.
Yes, I can't wait to see what the Warriors are doing soon.
I think right now the Phoenix Suns are the best team in the league. So I got Phoenix in 6 or 7. I'm gonna go 6. I know I said 7-game series, but I'm thinking about it now. I got Phoenix in 6.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the 76ers, not 76ers, the Warriors will pull it off, or not pull it off. I think the Warriors have a great, God, I can't talk. Warriors got a great opportunity this year. It's definitely been a great year for them with the stars they got, the young talent they have. The future's looking way brighter, but Suns have a great team right now, and they're gonna pull it off.
Yep. All right. The finals, we got Phoenix Suns versus Philadelphia 76ers. I like the Suns a lot.
I
the
do,
76ers
but I
got some good players.
Yes,
I think
it's gonna be a
I
Chris
think
Paul
ultimately
party
we're
night.
gonna end up disagreeing on the outcome. So I think we're gonna have to go to 7 games right here.
7 games. I obviously want to give it to Philly. You want to give it to Phoenix. I'd understand either way.
They have Matisse Thybulle to guard Devin Booker, but Chris Paul is going to find a way to facilitate to somebody who's going to score the ball. It doesn't matter. Mikal Bridges is I think Mikal Bridges is going to give James Harden a very tough time. And DeAndre Ayton is probably gonna be the biggest defensive challenge that Joel Embiid has faced this. Well, maybe that or Bam Adebayo this playoff series or playoffs overall. But I think
And
DeAndre
I'm
Ayton
not gonna disagree with you on any of this. Like,
DeAndre Ayton is gonna he's gonna give Joel Embiid a run for his money. Now can DeAndre Ayton
I can definitely
can
agree with this, but it can
DeAndre
also be done
can
on both
DeAndre Ayton
sides.
guard or lock up Joel Embiid? No, I don't think anybody in the league can. I don't even think Rudy Gobert can do that in the paint because Joel Embiid's just that dominant. But I think DeAndre Ayton's definitely going to hold his own. Mikal Bridges is going to do a very good job on James Harden. Who Tyrese Maxey, I think Chris Paul is going to do a very good job on Tyrese Maxey. We all forget that Chris Paul is a defensive or all defense caliber guard. And Devin Booker is going to get Matisse Thybulle is going to do a good job on Devin Booker. I think it's going to be a defensive series. But I think Chris Paul is just going to find whoever's open. Chris Paul's one of the best facilitators in NBA history. I got
I could definitely
I
see
got
that.
Suns. I got Suns in 7.
I got Philly in 7. This is something we just can't agree on. I feel like Harden's power, James Harden, and Joel Embiid just being too unstoppable. That guy's a monster, especially
He's a
this year.
monster, yeah. But I think Suns have a better bench too. I think Suns have better backups, along with the better starting lineup in my opinion. I think Philly has better star power, but I think the I mean James Harden just joined this team just a few months ago, so and the Suns already have they were at the finals last year with a pretty similar roster, the exact same starting lineup actually. So they already got the chemistry. They got everything. I got Suns in 7. I'm not gonna. I'm arguing that for sure. For sure. I'm gonna change your mind.
Well, yeah, I can understand both sides. I completely understand if Phoenix wins. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, this was a horrible playoffs. This has been a great playoffs. Suns have a great team. They could win it all. It's a close game. I know Philadelphia has the star power. They have the better players. Well, not better players. They have the potential. Phoenix
Better
all
chemistry.
around has the better playmaking. They got the better small ball. They got the better scoring. Embiid and Harden are just a great duo. He may have just joined, but they're clicking well. And the playoffs is where the best time to connect with your players, best time to get better with your teammates, and fill the void in very fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I mean, listen, 76ers could very well win the series. Suns could very well win the series. I think we both agree on that. Suns were here last year. They were in this situation last year with the exact same roster. I mean, I don't even know what changes they made. Landry Shamet might be their only change to the team. Jalen Smith is gone, but he didn't play a lot in the playoffs. Um, yeah, I mean that's all I could think of. They lost Javon Carter, but I mean minor changes. It's not going to change a whole lot. This team was had a way better record than they did last season. I mean, they were 1 seed by a large margin. They were the best team in the league by I don't know at the top of my head, but a good amount of games. Um, so I still am on the Sun side. Mikal Bridges too, second place defensive player of the year. James Harden's gonna have a very tough time. DeAndre Ayton, good defensive center. Joel Embiid's gonna have a tough time. Chris Paul is just gonna find whoever's open. Devin Booker's gonna score on Matisse Thybulle. Um, Chris Paul's
It's
gonna
just might
gonna
have to
do
be
a good job
something
on
we.
Tyrese Maxey. So I don't think the 76ers are gonna win. I don't think it's gonna happen. Um,
This just might have to be something we have to wait and see. I think the
yeah,
76 will pull it off.
I
Even
don't.
with your doubt, I
I
think
don't.
they could really pull it off.
I think they could.
But
I don't think they will.
I can understand that. I can say the same for the Phoenix Suns. They last year they seemed like they were gonna win it all. They had the great potential, but they just didn't pull it off. Giannis was too dominant. I feel like this is the same with Embiid. He's too dominant.
I can't agree with you. I can't. I don't. What do you want to do? How do you want to figure this out? Because I got Suns, you got Sixers. We're
We
both
may have just
we're
put this 50-50, ended with that. I just don't think we'll be able to agree on this one.
all right. I don't think we will because I'm not changing my opinion. I
I
mean,
can't change mine. I've gone Sixers this whole way, and
I've given you all the proof that you needed to tell you that the Suns were gonna win the NBA Finals. But
Listen. I don't care about proof. I don't care about stats. If we were going off of stats alone, we would base the regular season on the
if
playoffs.
we're going off stats, I mean, Joel Embiid's the runner-up in MVP and potentially gonna win the MVP. So
I
if we're
wish he
going
would
off
win that
stats,
MVP.
if we're going off stats, then I got 76ers, but we're not going off stats. The Suns have been here before. They've been in this situation before. They're not gonna let it slip out of their hands again. Chris Paul
But
wants this. Chris Paul's
maybe
not.
he's for
If
it.
Chris Paul doesn't win this year, he may never win a championship, and I think he knows that. And I think
Yes, that's
he's gonna
the
play
sad
with
part
it.
to see.
He's gonna give it everything he has. He's gonna play the hardest basketball he's ever played in his life. Devin Booker, best friends with Chris Paul. He's gonna do it for Chris Paul. Mikal Bridges is gonna do it for Chris Paul. They're all gonna do it for Chris Paul because they know, they're gonna do it for themselves. They want. I think they want it more too. I think, James Harden's a cocky player. Joel
He's a
Embiid.
cocky player,
Joel
but
Embiid.
you have to think about the fact that
Joel
he
Embiid
doesn't
could
have a
get
ring
dramatic.
either.
Yeah, Joel Embiid could get dramatic sometimes. James Harden can get dramatic a lot of the times. Let's see, Tyrese Maxey. He jokes around too much. I don't think he's got it in him as of right now to be the starting point guard of a championship team. I I I don't know what else to tell you, but I am not switching to the 76ers side on this one. I think they could win
I
it,
can't
but
speak
I
for
don't
them.
think they
I
will. I don't think
can't.
they will.
I
I
had
think
to
we're just
say
gonna have to. I think we're just gonna have to end it. 50-50.
50-50. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. We'll just wait and see to see what happens.
All right. It's a very good series, but that's just it's
This has been
one or the other.
honestly great playoffs. None of this could obviously be exactly right. This is just our opinion, but
Yeah,
who
for sure,
knows? I
for
feel like
sure.
this is exactly how the playoffs will go, except for game
I
seven.
think we filled out a very good bracket. I'm not gonna lie.
I do too. I feel like this is definitely how most people have their opinions, and if they don't, they're crazy. They're wrong. That's all my
Any
opinion.
other series I could see getting flipped is potentially the Memphis series, the
I
Nets and
could potentially
Bucks.
see
I
the
think the
Nets series getting flipped.
Nets
Yeah,
and Bucks series. Um,
but either way, I feel like all of them will turn out to be the same.
I think Golden. I think 76ers Nets or 76ers Bucks. Golden State Phoenix are all good series that could go either way. So, but this is what we got for our playoffs. So I think that's it. You got anything else to say?
No, I feel like we really cleared the air on everything here. We really got everything we wanted to say. Like it will all happen just like we said.
All right.